Your daily news or weather updates.
Around the globe.
Around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hot. Oh wait, no, it's meditating.
You get to see us play D&D and report the weather at the same time.
Super exciting stuff.
Yeah. Oh God. So how are you? What? Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. We're starting the summer vacation in like a week, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
You don't sound excited.
Then you have the kids around even more than usual.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Oh yeah, so you need a vacation after the vacation.
Isn't that how all vacations work, though?
mostly
Pretty much, yeah.
They should.
they should.
Yeah. There's something wrong here on my sheet. I seem to be at half hit point, and we're going to fight something bad. that must be
It
an
must
error.
be an
Let me
error.
just
Yeah.
let me just fix that.
Yeah. Back to full, right?
Yeah, I didn't take any damage last time. No.
I did.
I'm at 16 hit points.
Yeah, I don't remember us all failing intelligence saves. No, I don't remember that.
No, I stopped tracking your hit points. It's like, no, I'm kidding. I actually in my page I have this place for players' hit points. You can see it here, but it's empty. So
I'm at 17. I'm totally fine. 12 AC. Nothing to worry
Totally
about.
fine.
yeah.
I put
you
the
can
wizard
stand
in
it.
front. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stand in front of us, please. I'm at 2.
You too.
Two.
2? Really?
Well, I got blasted last time.
We all
19
did.
points of damage in a single hit, yeah.
Yeah, you all did.
Wait, are you like a wizard? Is that why?
And minus the con.
Yeah, I do have my minus to con.
Yeah. So, for those who don't remember what happened last time, I basically prepared this short recap that goes a little while back just to remind everyone what are we doing and why. So, following a rune that you found on a shattered crystal coffin holding a deformed Triton corpse, you basically followed that rune to the first of 3 islands known as the 3 Hags. You actually have their names. Ennio, which means basically horror, Dano, and Pemfredo. And I'm not sure I gave you the the theme behind those names, but maybe you'll discover on your own. So you have landed on Ano and investigated a hatch leading to an underground complex revealed to be a Triton facility built around a torture chamber that was designed to trigger psionic or psionic? I'm never. You omit the P, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this torture chamber was designed to trigger psionic abilities in the tortured object or subject. You discovered something that we've called a memory jar. It's a crystal that basically documents one of those experiments, and you saw hooded figures watching as an invisible stalker was summoned inside a torture chamber, basically to shred to pieces one of the Tritons trapped there with it, while another Triton was watching. And you saw that in one of those memory jars that the last subject maybe managed to unsummon that invisible stalker back into its summoning circle using basically telekinesis or something of that sort. And after basically fighting some what appeared to be the internals of Tritons without the externals, and managing to find a way to control this invisible stalker, you continue to explore the complex, and you encountered this strange spherical object that seems to be here and not here at the same time, and it kind of unleashed this psionic wave that basically gave you a really bad headache. And while fighting that creature, you heard Fillory on her griffin shouting that the Remorseless, the giant ice ship, is on the horizon. And this is where we stopped last time.
Okay.
So you still... What?
Did we roll initiative?
I don't think so. So you should do it now.
Nice. I rolled a 6.
6.
11. Oh god.
Got a 10. 11. Sorry.
I also have an 11.
Quarian
I rolled a
and
1.
Galen. Oh my god.
I got a
Oh,
negative
wow.
1 to initiative.
Forgar.
So 0. Okay.
0.
Who was
I'm super ready for this.
who was 6? Someone was 6.
Let me just take my shield and put on my armor.
Yeah.
Varian was 6.
Varian.
I was 6.
And Enderist?
11.
Oh, so okay, cool. And Mr. Psionic creature. Oh, nice. Cool. Okay, so you basically watch as this spherical object kind of creates those pseudopods. They kind of move toward you, and you can still see those. I think one of you cast a firebolt or something like that on this creature, and you can still see it kind of rolling inside of it, and it kind of leashes at whoever is in front of it. I will simply yeah.
Orca and me, we were in the front, walking
Yeah.
down
Okay.
the whole way up. Kind of regretting that now.
Yeah, right?
So there's 2 of them leashing out. Let's say that one at Forgar and one at Galen. So Forgar, this thing hits AC 17.
Oh, that is my armor class.
Okay. So as it touches you, you can see that it transfers some of the power of that rolling firebolt from its central body to the pod and to you. So you kind of burn with that attack, taking that's 9 points of damage,
Alright.
and it's fire damage. And
Okay.
you, Galen, it hits AC 22 this time. So
Just
so-
barely.
just barely. So the second firebolt burst into flame upon you, and you take 12 points of damage from that attack.
Oh, goody.
You still up?
Yeah, of course I'm still up. I barely look hurt. Or barely alive, one of the two. I forget. How does health work again? It's low is good, right?
Yeah, yeah. The lower the number, the better you are.
Yeah. So that was its turn, and then what happens? You can see it floats, and it seems like it's kind of looking at you, turning its bulbous shape here and there. So if you want, you can make an insight check, and I might reveal something interesting.
I got
Yeah,
I won.
20!
22.
Hey.
Oh, 22. Way to go, monk.
Okay, so
We got
and
22.
I mean, farmer.
okay,
Yeah, it's that farmer knowledge.
so Anders,
Please.
Galen, and Quarian, you think that this creature was basically trying to, like a blind man, trying to touch the faces of whatever he encountered. You don't think this was an attack, even though it damaged you, and it was just like, whoa, what is this? So you feel that the attack didn't come yet.
Oh my goodness.
Uh,
What is this creature?
Yeah, I say it's. I don't think. I'll say that to you. Like, I don't think it's attacking. Just don't attack it back. If
Fireball.
the magic hurt us, not
Fireball.
the creature. So don't fireball or firebolt or magicy thingy it.
Okay, so Quarian, Anders, and Galen, you can decide who goes next. It's like 3 of you are 11.
How big is the creature compared to the size of the hallway?
So it basically blocks the hallway. It's a large spherical.
Okay.
Is there still fire in it?
Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna use my awakened mind to reach out to it telepathically,
Okay.
and tell it to stand down. We're not here to hurt you, and that's my. I would like to use another action if I can, to use my Mask of Many Faces to change myself to look like one of the Tritons that we're observing.
Okay.
One of the scientist Tritons,
I don't think we could see their faces.
for lack of a better term.
Okay.
They were in
so
hoods, right?
yeah. You saw hooded figures. You're not sure if they were Tritons or not. But as you try to kind of touch it
Disguise.
mentally, I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, great. Ha! 3?
3.
I rolled a 1.
Okay. So you try to basically like mind link with it, and your mind goes like in 10 directions simultaneously. It kind of this creature is so alien, so out of this world. You have trouble even comprehending what it sees, feels, hears, and thinks about. At this point, you take 3 points of damage, psychic.
Okay. I need to make a charisma saving throw. Yeah, I hit the ground. Use strength of the grave to try and get back up again.
Okay.
I need to make a charisma save DC 8.
Go for it.
So I'm at 1.
Okay, so once you recover, you manage to discover that this creature is trapped here. You believe, according to the mess of visions that you got from its mind, that it was basically summoned here by mistake, probably during one of those crazy experiments. You don't think it belongs here at all.
Okay, so when I scream and clutch my head and fall to the ground, I guess I'll say that through my pain. It doesn't belong here. It doesn't want to be here. That's about all I'm going to say.
Okay. So you still have an action if you want to do it.
I'm going to back away.
Okay. Galen.
I'll slowly approach it with like my hands up, like ready to dodge any attacks that come at me. So my action is dodging, but just my movement going forward. Like we're not here to hurt you. We can help you. Maybe help the gesture. Other. We don't want to be here either. And like just slowly moving forward to it.
Okay.
And even maybe like gently like touching one of those pseudopods to like maybe that's how it communicates. I don't know.
Okay. So
Do I need to roll anything?
yes, if you touch it, I need you to roll an intelligence saving throw. As
Oh,
if
it went so well last time. Well, 14 this time.
okay, so your finger, you kind of point it out, and its pod kind of loops and wraps your finger, and then you get this powerful vision straight into your mind. You can see a room with a big, like, humming crystalline machine. You've seen similar one in the first room that you've entered via the hatch, but this machine is different, and it looks like it's toppled, and you can see wires that are kind of torn from it, and then it shows you this horrified a very deformed and torn and stitched Triton. It looks like it was made from different body parts, and you believe this creature is trying to say to you something along the lines of, this creature can push that crystalline lump into place, and then maybe something will happen that will release this floating herb.
I'll try to send back like calming thought and like say, yeah, we will help you as best as we can. My friends are smart. We will help you.
Okay. Varian, this is your turn.
And you're muted.
Okay, well, this is like a little bit of a different. It seems like you guys don't really want to fight. This thing, right?
Yes, we're
Because-
we're clearly trying to fight it with love.
Have you guys made yourself like clear about, would Varian and understand that you guys don't want to fight it?
I said that don't attack it.
Okay.
I did say that it doesn't belong here and it doesn't want to be here. And then I ran away. Well, crawled away.
Well, that's not clear enough instruction.
No,
for
I
me.
know.
We're also all standing there, like, panting and hardly holding ourselves up. I don't think anyone is looking healthy.
Well, I'm completely healthy. Well, as I'm like bleeding out of the nose and eyes and ears, gently
There's a
touching the
pool of
pseudopod,
blood
like
on your feet.
yeah, just gently like stroking the pseudopod. There, it'll be fine. We'll help you. We have friends that are smart, like the wizard with the huge sword. He's smart, and then he comes in and smashes it.
No, I think I won't attack it then. I think maybe I can make some sort of check to gain some more information.
Yeah, intelligence is your bag, right?
Yeah, I got a lot of intelligence, maybe Arcana or something.
So you can roll an intelligence check, because you don't believe any arcane knowledge will help you here.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe I'm trying to figure out like what its intentions are. And that is that's a 16.
Okay, so with what Andres told you and what you basically asked Galen some questions after he touched the pod. You believe, if you recall, when you came to the island on top of riding your griffins, there was this wave of psychic energy that basically caused you to crash land on the island. You believe that this big crystalline machine that is now toppled, that's the reason why the psychic energy was released, and you believe that this creature was accidentally summoned into this place because of that wave of energy. You're not sure if the machine toppled because one of the experiments or maybe something else happened, but you know that restoring it back to place and making it work again will probably send the inverse of this psychic energy wave that will probably take him back home.
Okay.
Hopefully it doesn't take us as well.
Yeah. But you didn't see any machine that big in this complex. You don't think it's in this complex that you are visiting. Maybe in one of the other islands.
So we should retreat and try and find this thing.
I thought it was behind it, down the hallway.
So if you remember, last time.
Oh right, it just circles back around.
Right, the green and red, so they basically meet again. So all that there is behind this creature is probably another room that you don't know, you haven't visited, but probably not something that can contain such a big
Big thing.
yeah.
Are invisible stalkers, can they communicate?
I believe so.
So then maybe what I'll do is I'll tell my invisible stalker to try and slip by it and see what's in the room behind it. And if it attacks him, don't attack it back. Just retreat.
Okay. Let me see if invisible stalkers can stalk invisibly. No, kidding. If they
Yeah,
communicate.
basically, you know, if he can tell me what's on the other side or not.
Yeah, I understand. Monster menu is like in shreds. So, this dude. So it understands common, but it doesn't speak it. It speaks Auran, whatever that means.
Okay.
Yep.
But it can.
Elemental air, I think.
Okay.
Elemental air.
But I can communicate with it telepathically.
Okay.
Just needs to understand one language.
Okay. So you send it to visit the room behind this creature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
While that's happening, I'm gonna use my healing hands to give myself a few extra hit points.
Great. So. Okay. What you basically see is a room that is very much like an operation preparation room, where you basically clean up, remove your clothes, take on this patient's robe, put all your belongings in a box, etc. So this is basically what you see, and there is another place for another stand for a memory jar, but it's empty. There's no jar on it, no crystal on it. And then there's simply an opening that leads to the other side of the glass chamber.
Okay. Well, I will share that information with everybody. I think we should leave and try and find that mechanism.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Yep.
I try to, still holding on to the tentacle thing. I'll try to like ask it like in pictures or somehow I'm feeling if it's all alone here on the island.
If it's
If the creature, whatever it is all alone here. If there are other things on the island.
you don't believe there are other creatures of its kind.
Of its kind, yeah, but I'm trying to get it to tell me if there are living things around.
That's actually a very interesting question. So I need you to make an intelligence check to try and convey the.
Yeah. 11 set.
So with an 11, it tells you that there is one more, and the visual you get is the word thinker. There is one more thinker, as in think, on the island.
Okay. I say there's something else intelligent here, I think, on this island.
So you get the it basically looks at Anderist when it tells you when it gives you the impression of the word thinker.
Maybe
Oh.
maybe
Say aye.
Someone who looks like you, maybe.
well, yeah, I do
Telepath?
look
Is
like.
what I'm. I don't know about you. Do I know about your telepathy?
I don't know if I'd ever told you about it.
Hmm.
I might have surmised, but
Hmm.
I do look like one of the Tritons, though, right now, as much
Oh.
as I possibly could.
Ah! Try to kill it.
There's also the invisible stalker that I'm commanding.
Yes.
They've been stuck here together for how long?
Hmm. So what you're telling me is that you're actually one of the overlords of this experiment,
Yes,
and I should kill you.
Overlord.
Oh,
I like the
yeah.
term Overlord.
Yes.
I think we should continue using that.
Yes, my lord overlord.
But yeah, I will turn back into my normal shape.
Yeah.
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 Go. Will the invisible stalker follow me off the island, or is it
Yes.
stuck on the island?
No, it's not stuck. Sorry, it's not stuck in the complex. It can travel on the island, but not outside of it.
Okay.
Like if we leave the island, it'll come to another island within the grouping of them.
You believe so. You think it can travel between the 3 islands, but not outside.
Yeah. Right.
Are we not? We're not in turn order anymore, are we?
Correct.
On. No.
Alright, as you guys are discussing this, I say we should leave this eldritch being and get out of here before the ship comes.
But it needs
Yep.
our help.
Yeah.
We have to. Help
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. But what we need to find is away from here.
Mm. I'm still holding on to the Sentinel.
I'm not taking this thing with us.
Yeah.
The,
I'm
I
not-
agree. We need to find the mechanism to release it so that it can
Mhm.
leave.
and
Yeah.
the mechanism it seems like it might be in another island. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Or in another compound on this island. Also possible.
Pretty small island. I don't.
Yeah,
Think-
it said that there
Is
was
there
another finger on this island, so you know.
yeah, that's
I
more
think
ceramic
that's-
damage.
I think it means me. I think it means a telepath.
Oh, there is another. Yeah,
No,
a
it said there's
telepath.
another
Another
like you.
one.
Another telepath like you. No, it didn't bring you in.
I think it meant me. I think the island's empty, but that's just an opinion. I've got nothing to base that off.
I'm saying there's another one that looks like you. This in character, what I'm saying, on the island.
Mm.
It's
Like when I was another Triton.
Well, yes, something like that. I think it's weird. It's sending weird pictures every now and then.
Even,
No, either way, we can leave this place and go up top. We can
Yeah.
speak
Yeah.
to
Gotta
Fillory
find out.
and Semyon, who've been circling this island. Maybe they've seen something.
Yeah, we should we have a limited amount of time between now and this island now that the ship's coming.
Yep.
So
So let's roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try and tell this thing to it that it should come with us and we
No.
will help it.
No. No, I will see you trying to do that, and I will
No,
find a way to stop
I'm
you.
thinking it. I'm sending good
Um,
pictures.
Forgar,
Yeah.
I'm gonna approach you and ask you 2 things. One, is it undead? Can you detect undead other than the invisible stalker here?
I am able to do that.
Can't
With
we
my.
kill you?
Yeah, I can do that. I'll cast my divine sense.
Okay. What does he
What
do?
do I see?
What does he do?
Until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead, and area or object concentrated or desecrated with a hollow spell. The hollow spell.
Hallow.
Hallow? I don't know what that is.
That consecrates the area.
I think
Or
it defile.
desecrates it, right? Defile, yeah, defiles.
What is the range of this spell?
60 feet.
So there are no undead, fiends, or hollowed, whatever. You don't feel. You
Defiled
don't
areas.
sense. Yeah, you don't sense any.
Except for the invisible stalker, right? Because they're undead. Right.
I'm not
No,
sure
no,
it's
I
an
think they're
undead.
elemental.
Oh no, right, they're elemental.
Yeah.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, from the
Sorry.
elemental of air, as far as I remember.
So you don't sense it right now. How long does this spell operate? Is it like a
It
concentration
says
based?
until the end of your next turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a like the
Mm.
bat vision. Okay.
Yeah. And the second thing is, can you heal me?
No. No, I can't.
Please.
Yeah,
I did that. I did the same for you.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you leave
Yeah,
the
10.
complex
Thank you.
with this
Yeah.
creature kind of hovering behind you?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
That's-
we're not bringing him with us.
I'm walking along with it, like holding hands or holding hands.
Skipping. Skipping. Yeah. Look
I-
both
I
ways
made a
before you
new
cross
friend.
the hallway.
I mean, as long as it doesn't attack us by accident, by like thinking about
And
it.
it's not slimy at all.
If it thinks
But
we're an
it's-
ally and the giants are an enemy, this could be helpful.
All right, fine, whatever.
That is
you
totally
can
not what
bring
I,
him
as a
back.
player, thought about. No.
I think
Oh.
Galen is jealous of of
Yeah.
the
I want to
invisible
bring two.
stalker. He once went to.
That's what's his Otis is better than. Damn it. P.S. Forgar, when you healed me, my skin is icy cold to the touch.
And the no
That's-
undeads.
that's
is
weird.
That, yeah, is that also your character Brian? Is that also considered not undead?
I would ask if that's normal for you. If I noted that.
Yeah, I have poor circulation,
All right.
and I'm gonna leave it at that and walk ahead.
Yeah, yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. So as you leave this complex with the orb kind of floating around behind you, Fillory lands with her griffin. She steps down of it and approaches you, Enderist. And with a low voice, she says that she spotted the frost giant ship on its way. She believes that within an hour or so, the ship will anchor in one of the 3 islands. She doesn't know.
Does it seem like they rebuilt the ship?
No, it's still limping, but since it's like huge and is like they probably use either giant's strength to kind of plow through the water or magic or something like that, but it is still crippled.
So how many are they griffins that we've got?
I think it was 4, but I'm
Look at
Four.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Four?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. There's 8 of us. Well, I was considering sending them back to Waterdeep on one of them,
But
Fillory and
didn't we all
Simeon.
get on griffins?
You just keep them inside the.
No, I buddied up with somebody.
I don't want to risk their lives, and I also think that they could go back to Waterdeep and possibly tell somebody about what's going on.
Tell who?
I don't know. The Tritons, perhaps?
They
Can
could.
we
They can.
trust the Tritons?
2 of them can get on a griffin, and we have 3 griffins for 6 of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but I think I trust the Tritons more than I trust the Giants. And the Tritons might not know what's going on here. Like this, I don't know what side they're on.
Yeah, but we got rid of the ballistas and everything. I don't think the giants are a problem. Like, you're brave adventurers, right?
Yes, but Fillory and Simeon aren't, and I think
well,
we might
neither
have.
am I, but I'm still alive.
True point.
Yeah,
Is there
that's
anybody
fine.
we want to? I mean, I still want to send them away, but well, we might as well make it useful. And I'll only send them away if you guys are okay with us losing a griffin.
I'm
Are we
okay with
able
that.
to fly all 6 of us, and 3 griffins safely?
I think so.
Yeah, you think
be
it's
fine.
like it's probably okay. The griffins won't like it, but it's okay.
Hopefully the Elder Beast doesn't realize that we're saying, oh, 6 of us.
I mean, we're
He
gonna
can
be-
fly,
floating.
right?
It's-
He's
it's-
floating.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Well, then.
we're- and we're trying to, send it home.
Yep. I'm gonna do that. Then I'll send them home on one of the griffins. Take a wide berth, obviously. What?
Can you tell them maybe to have the Tritons that they speak to take the griffins back?
Yes.
And go back here?
Also, any other messages you want to deliver? Now's the time.
Mm,
So I assume you want them to visit Viban.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Vivon, and tell them where we are and what's going on. tell them about the giant ship. Not too many details about what's inside here, just that we're hearing that the giants are coming.
Okay.
And that there's like structures and stuff here related to the Tritons. Also, when she gets there and finishes that, she needs to recruit me a new teamster.
Okay.
Oh, and
And
she
maybe
could
leave
also,
it would be nice if
maybe
she could go visit Jolly and check around what happened
Yeah.
with us missing the invitation to this Outer Jewel Academy.
Sure, she can report to Jolly and what's the guy's name? The Triton? It's actually
Dijon?
Veban.
Dijon?
Verban.
Vaban.
There was a Dijon, right?
There was Dion, but you found his body.
Oh.
Anders, are you sure you don't want to tell him just everything?
Yeah, I was just going to say maybe
Like, either we tell him nothing,
we
or
should
we
omit.
just tell him everything. I think.
You think so? I think we should just cut out the part about the dimensional traveling dude in the
Creature?
sky.
The giant floating tower?
Yeah.
You think we should omit that
Yeah.
part of the story?
I think
Oh,
so.
that guy,
I don't think
right?
we have time to write an entire novel.
No, but she's been around, like she's experienced all of this too, so she can. We don't need to explain anything. She knows,
Yeah.
right? Her and Semyon.
Other than what we saw
yeah,
in the
Semyon's
thing.
she's very charismatic. Semyon's very intelligent. They're a good pair.
Okay.
So yeah, whatever you guys decide. If we want to tell them everything except for the dimensional traveling guy.
Storm giant.
Stone Professor.
Storm Professor. Fair enough. Okay, done.
Zapdos.
Zapdos.
Zephyroth, I think. Something.
Zephyroth. Whatever.
My notes
She's gonna
say
omit that
close.
part, and then they need to go right away so that we can leave now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you were talking to the floating guy that we have with us, how intelligent does he seem?
Who are you asking?
I'm asking you. I'm Anders.
Interest?
Yep.
It didn't. It's hard to pinpoint like an intelligence level. It was just very alien and chaotic. It was very difficult to understand. I just got images of it being summoned and kind of imprisoned, like it doesn't want to be here. I think
okay.
Galen probably might have more insight though.
Yeah, Galen can do it.
yeah, I'm trying to ask it if like where this other thinker are. It can give like directions or like show me.
Yes, I needed to make another intelligence check as you try to extract this information from it.
Well,
With a 12, you only get a sense of down and toward the two islands that are visible once you leave the hatch. You can see that this island is pretty much, it's a small island. There are two more not very far from where you stand. You get a sense of down there.
so maybe like between the islands.
You're not sure. You don't get like a like a pinpoint. Oh, just the general direction of down there.
I'll
So,
tell that to the others and like, did we maybe miss something down the hatch? If there are like other tunnels like leading between the island, maybe some underground complex.
I don't know if I was researching psionics and psionic abilities of this power, I might put it on a separate island unto itself, disconnected from my main.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
but
want this thing coming through to my command post.
But also if you're Trident, you might just have it in water.
Yep, fair.
Anybody
Agreed. So-
that swimming?
Negative.
I'm not a good swimmer.
We could take the griffins over there, can't we?
Yeah, let's fly. Let's go.
So
Yeah.
it comes to the question
see.
to which island. So think of it as a
Well,
chain
the-
of like volcanic islands. So you're on the first one. You can jump to the middle one.
Daño.
Yep. So
What
you,
is Daño and Camfredo? What do they mean? Do you know those?
So you did know about Ennio. I think I told you because one of you translated and took information from
The book.
the book. So you know that Dano means so Ennio means horror. Dano means the anticipation of horror, and Pemfredo means shock.
So,
All right, I say Dano.
Is that the next one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
if
do
we can
it.
Get if we can get ahead enough of the giants, we'll have like we won't be able to rest probably.
No, they're like we said an hour away.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the air, can we see anything on Pamfredo or Dano that might indicate escape?
So even if you have if you were looking on this island, you probably wouldn't have spotted anything interesting. The hatch was simply open, so you spotted it. Other than that, it looks like an island. But I will have you make perception rolls.
Galen, also before we leave the island, do you wanna get this creature to slow him down somehow?
I got a 19.
18.
I slowed him down. No. Why would I do that? We're trying to help it, not set it up to like die. It's like you're a defenseless creature. You have to help.
All right.
I don't know about defenseless, but okay.
Anyone
roll an
rolled?
eight.
Whatever you say, Galen.
Anyone rolled above 19?
Yeah, perception 19.
No.
Okay.
Somebody rolled a 20. Didn't they?
No,
Okay. So no, you don't see anything special in any one of these islands.
Okay. Let's go to Dano.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we actually go to another island, I'm going to drink a healing potion.
Okay.
Good point.
I can. I
I
can heal some people.
I can use some healing also.
Okay.
Do I still have the memory jar that I took?
Yes. If you took them, then yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
How many? Who's
I
all
have one
super
that
hurt?
use.
What?
I'm at less than half hit point. 14 out of
Uh,
Me
38.
too.
Yeah, me too. I need. I'm at 17 out of 36.
Nice.
Okay. I don't know. I have 15 more Leia hands. I'll get 15 and I'll cure wounds the other. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can now.
Yeah.
You broke up there for a second.
Yep.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'll lay of hands on. Who needs more?
I would say lay on hands on the monk.
I need 24.
Okay. Perfect. You get 15,
Then I'm
and you get
sort of getting close to max.
9.
Who get 9?
Varian, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great.
Marion also needed some. You can get 9.
Who wants a healing
That's
word?
good. I think I'm good now.
Sorry?
Okay.
Who wants a
What
healing
was that?
word?
I think you should give that to the monk or the paladin.
All right.
I'm at half.
Yeah, give it to the paladin.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I guess at level 2.
So you take to the air on the back of your griffins. They basically kind of circle up, and then you can lead them to the second island, to Dano. As you kind of scan the horizon, you indeed see the huge kind of bulk of the of the frost giant's ship, as it's kind of making its way toward you. And indeed you estimate about an hour, maybe a little less, as it approaches the island. Obviously it wouldn't be able to anchor like at the island. They'll probably need to send a smaller ship, a smaller boat or vessel or whatnot. It's too big to anchor next to the islands themselves. Make perception checks as you circle Dano.
13.
3.
Okay.
17.
So,
One.
For the
so Quirion and Eileen, you managed to spot the shine of another hatch, this time closed, on the side of this small and more or less exposed island, basically made of rocks, and a single palm tree just off to the side, and water circling it. It's not a very comfortable looking island. No like flat place to rest or make camp or something like that. It's very jaggy and full of rocks. But you do spot the hatch.
All right. Let's land
Uh,
by that.
Let's go to the hatch.
My
for
new
rock.
floaty friend, like, as we're leaving it, before going to the
Yeah,
other
it floats like it takes to the air and simply slowly follows you. It doesn't take to like maybe it doesn't like heights, so it simply kind of glides on top of the water, much like the blob from the Prisoner movie, like the series. So it's simply like this big balloon, semi-transparent, bouncing on the surface
Will
of the water.
Griffins have place to rest on the jagged island over there?
So it won't be very comfortable for them, but yes.
Okay.
What about the invisible stalker who I am naming Dale?
So if you want it to follow you, it will. Okay. You do recall that the only place to give it commands is back in the summoning circle. So
right.
so you
So
can.
its command was protect me then. Right?
Okay, yeah. Then he will follow you. No problem.
Okay.
So as you land next to the hatch, the griffins kind of find like their footing, and you make way to the area of the hatch. And what you can see is basically basalt rock, and this metallic hatch basically built into the rock. But this hatch is closed. You do see runes surrounding it, and since you were able to decipher the names of the islands, you recognize the runes from the books you saw at Zephyros library, and you believe that you can manipulate the runes, basically touch them, to spell the name of the island in order to open the hatch. You actually saw it at the open hatch before. I don't. Maybe you're not. You don't remember, but the hatch was open, and the runes that made the name of the island were kind of lit. So you believe this is the way to open a hatch.
All right. Who's gonna do that?
Again, Daniel is the anticipation of horror.
Correct. Yes.
Yep.
Think this could have anything to do with the riddle?
Which riddle?
Which riddle?
Of opening the hatch.
Oh,
horror
Yes.
anticipation
Forgar, I'll point out the runes that you need to touch and in which order.
Wait, can we
Wait,
maybe touch
I'll
it
touch them.
with a mage
I'll
hand?
touch them.
Hang on. Can we use the mage
Ah.
hand? Also, though?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, alright, do that.
Everybody stay back.
Okay. So
Sending my robot.
yeah, you use the mage hand and you touch the runes to spell the name Dano, according to the writings you saw at Zephyros' book. And indeed, the hatch kind of lights up, separates itself from the rock, and then you can hear this as kind of fume, fog, what's not, kind of burst from the hatch, and then dissipates. And just by looking into the hatch, you can see again this round room, yet again filled with Triton bodies.
They did not fare well here.
No.
Can we throw in a torch first? And,
Anybody wanna
see
go
what's
down?
going on?
I'll go down.
Go for it.
I'll hold the torch with the mage hand downstairs for you.
Okay, good.
Okay, Galen,
I'll go down
you
after him.
You descend with Enderis right after you, and again you can see that they're basically like you're not sure if these are two factions of Tritons, but you can see the deformed ones and the Navy SEALs Tritons. Obviously another raid, but this time you can see that one of the deformed ones was able to close the hatch, and you can still see it like in this position, kind of thrown just beneath the open hatch. You can see that it's a round room with 3 openings. As you descend, one straight ahead of you, another one to the right, and another one to the left. And
Does this room also have the crystal coffins and memory jars and such?
no. This time, what you can see is this: the deformed Tritons are all naked, and most of the bolts that hit them came from the back. The
So
seems-
I have 120-foot dark vision. Can I see down those hallways?
just a minute. What you do see quite easily is that the Navy SEAL Tritons seem to have been basically ripped to shreds, like if something huge and powerful grabbed them, like twisted them and splitted them in two and threw parts everywhere, like gore and blood are covering the walls, which are, by the way, are plastered with schematics of Triton anatomy, like blood vessels, bones, nervous systems, whatever.
Well, I'm going to ignore the hallway. I'm going to start looking at those schematics. If I see anything that I'm not familiar with, I'm going to try.
Yes, so you can see that these schematics basically describe a way to graft like wires into Triton bodies, like copper wires. You're not sure for what reason, but it like goes into their hands, limbs, torso, even eyes, ears. Most of the
Disturbing.
yeah.
But interesting. So I'll take a few quick notes while you guys are coming down.
Okay.
Are there any wires on the floor? Or
Not-
something that would...
Not that you can see. The floor is basically, if you kind of move some Triton bodies out of the way, you can see that the floor is simply empty. There were probably several desks at this room with maybe books or notes, but they are all turned and broken into pieces, and the notes are kind of scattered and smeared with blood. If you want, you can spend time that you're not sure you have, but you can spend time and maybe find something useful or something you can read or make sense of. But it will take
I
time.
would like to check if there are any tracks, like maybe bloody footprints from whatever ripped these Tritons apart.
Okay, make a perception check or investigation check. Make it an investigation check.
14.
With a 14, so as I said, you descended, and then there was a corridor in front of you, and one to the left and one to the right. The corridor in front of you have these giant steps, like something that stepped on a Triton body and then continued to walk, headed that way.
The malformed Triton bodies, were they running towards a certain direction?
Toward the exit.
And the body of the Triton, I don't know if it was deformed or a regular Triton that was closing the door.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the deformed one or a regular?
Yes, it was a deformed one. This one is actually wearing clothes.
Oh.
It was deformed and wearing clothes, and the other ones are deformed and naked.
Yes.
That sounds like a success story.
The
Or
one
they
that was
was,
wearing clothes was trying to run. Looked like it tried to run out.
no, it tried to stop
closed the
others from
hatch.
running out.
Oh, stop the others. Okay, sorry.
And
Maybe.
Trying to
Or
lock
the
them
big
in.
monster.
Locking something in, that's for sure.
yeah, and
Does the
how does he look? The guy holding the latch down.
So
Like,
when you examine its body, you can definitely see that there are like blood trails from his nose as he was trying to grab this, and you can see that his face are kind of bloated, veins popping, and you just
Some sort of
he wasn't torn
psionic
apart.
creature killed them.
He wasn't torn apart. He's whole.
he's whole.
Alright.
So
Can you ask our new globe friend? He senses another thinker around us.
Has it arrived?
Yes.
Hey, and it's down here with us.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Great.
I guess I can go ask it that.
Okay. An intelligence check.
And yes, and I will point out the bloody footprint from the huge monster.
Okay.
You know what? Before you do, I'm going to give you a bardic inspiration. So if you don't do well, you can add it.
I can give you
Hey.
guidance too.
Well, okay. I'm going to need it. Guidance is a D4. So up to 6 now, and bardic inspiration is a D6 or a D8?
D8.
D8, okay. Oh, so a 14.
Ooh.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
So let me describe it this way. So you'll know how Quarian's inspiration kind of basically saved your life. So you were given this vision. Basically, this orb took you through tunnels and staircases and hatches inside this complex. Down, 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 down. Everything is a blurry. All you see is like blood on the walls and more deformed tritons sprawled. Down, 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 down. And then you can see a body of water. Maybe one of the tunnels or hatches kind of opened up into this water-filled tunnel. And in the tunnel, you can see some sort of a device. It's definitely metallic. It looks like a fish or a boat, something very strange, and it's submerged, and you can see a hooded figure kind of tinkers with it, and as this orb kind of pushes you forward so you can see this figure kind of looks at you, and then you can see tentacles everywhere and white eyes, and you begin to scream and lose it, and then Quarian's soothing words kind of hold your sanity in place, and then there is a name kind of etched into your mind. The name is Vost Darava, and you believe that you have seen basically the other thinker who's lurking still in this complex.
Okay, I will recoil from our floaty bluff friend, like stumble around a bit, drop down to my knees, throw up, like vaguely get up again, like say, oh, okay, that was different. That's just give me a moment to catch my breath, and this is and then I'll share the story with the others.
Can we make an Arcana check to see if we know what that creature is? I know what it is.
Go for it.
Oh, 10.
Does Very know what it is?
Got an 17.
So you believe after Galen kind of explains what he saw, you and Varian, Eileen, you also kind of contributed, and Andraste, obviously. You basically figure out that this is the dreaded illithid, and the fact that this creature is lurking nearby fills you with great concern. This is like a deadly creature to
So
encounter.
now that we've put a name to it, I assume I've seen drawings of them before.
Yes?
Can I use disguise self to make myself look like one?
The sky self will be a little bit harder to pull off because of the unique features of this creature. Unless the spell allows it, then yes.
Okay, check. Detailed. Keep going.
So, yeah, so you investigated the deformed Triton who kind of closed the hatch. Many naked Tritons, and you have footsteps leading to one of the corridors. What do you want to do?
Do I have like any sense of like which of the 3 hallways that led down there? I know it was all like going really fast and everything, and wasn't really clear about the layout, but
It was probably the right or the left, not the one that with the bloody footsteps. But you're not sure. Maybe you got it wrong.
so I'll say yeah. It was like if we want to go after that or avoid that, we have it's to the right. Wait, left. Wait, which way was it facing? That way, and I'll point back both
Wait a
directions.
minute, but wait a minute. This creature is like way too strong for us, and he's obviously expecting us now because we've kind of told it hello, psionically.
Nope, we haven't. It was just memories, right? Wasn't actually there, was I?
I don't know. The hooded figure that you just saw, it's the same hooded figure as the ones who were watchings in the experiment. Okay. So there's one. So I can use it to make Sky itself to make the illusion of me within the hood, but I can't do the tentacles. I can do everything but the tentacles.
Okay. Cool.
So that's what I'll do.
Great.
I don't know.
Follow the footprints.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
go fight
Nope.
the mini boss and then
That leads to a huge, powerful creature that rips things apart. Well, if
It's our-
if your expert opinion says that's the right way to go, then we'll go that way.
It's the only lead we have. So do we explore and waste time, or spend time, which might be well spent, but we don't know, or do we?
I think
I
we
think,
might
yeah,
actually
I
have a
mean-
better chance exploring the other island.
Is
Do
that
you want to
where
run
the
away?
vision took us to the other island?
No, I think it was
Take
this island. I think really be
Yeah.
fun
We'll go
about.
down. I think we should go down.
yeah. I think
Well,
it
if
Can
we
the
want-
giants get into this? Get into the hatch?
Probably not.
No.
But
Magic?
but you believe that they can either smash it or indeed use magic to make themselves smaller. But you haven't heard of any giant
But-
like.
Doing
They
that,
will
yeah. But
not
then they'd
if
have
we
to like
close it.
crawl on their bellies through all the
Oh yeah.
tunnels.
Oh yeah.
Now,
That's a lot of
I'm
brain
not.
for an illithid.
I'm not too worried about fighting a single giant on its belly in one of these hallways. Poke it with a stick in the eye. Right? Not much I can
You,
do
you
in
never
space,
played
but-
Eye of the Beholder? Like, come on, those things were dead. That was so stupid, that game.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
say
yes.
we go down. That's my vote.
Yeah, Eileen says
I
I
know.
think we should push forward through this hell until we're completely out of it.
But then
We'll go
if-
straight to the source.
Yeah, then we should go left. Right.
Which way did it send you?
It was. I was kind of like. I think I was hanging upside down at one point. So
Is
No.
there anything unique about the two ones that you're deciding between?
The hallways?
Yeah.
Do they smell different?
When in doubt, follow the nose.
yeah.
Yes.
I'll say just let me think. Like let me just meditate on it, and I'll figure it out. So I'll just.
I want to go look in both the hallways.
Yeah. While he's doing that, I'll go over, like sit down, like in a lotus position, pull out a coin, flip it, and like say tails it right, left this, and heads it's left, and then like just making sure they don't see it, like sitting there, and flip the coin.
Oh. but
I'll just roll a d2 here on roll 20, and if it's a 1, we're going right. If it's a 2, we're going left.
so while he's
It's a one.
meditating and Forgar's exploring the hallways, I'd like to cut into one of these deformed Tritons to see if I can find any copper wires.
Okay. So when you do, make an investigation check.
That's only 10.
So with a 10, you can definitely see copper wires kind of wired under their skin. Each Triton has it in a different place. Some has it in the arms, some around the neck, some you can see wires kind of needled into their eyes, ears, fingers. Each one has it at some other place.
Fascinating.
You do, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
It was
So
just a 10.
What did you learn, Galen, in your meditation?
In my meditation, I now clearly remember that it is, right. I'm sure, really,
Very well.
totally sure. And yeah,
I'm gonna clap you.
and you can clearly tell I'm not.
Well, you haven't let us down yet, so let's go that way.
Quark
Okay.
is going behind you guys, saying, "Go Team DPK."
What's TPK mean?
Total particle.
No, I know that.
What?
Hector doesn't know that.
I don't think that's what that means. It's got to mean
No.
something else.
Yeah, the total party kills everything.
Yeah, it's a good
That's right.
thing when you say
Yes.
total party kill.
Together we
Yeah.
can
It means we
destroy all.
killed everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to the left corridor, you said?
The right.
Oh, the
Right.
right. Okay.
The right one. Yeah, no, the right one.
We don't even know which one we went down.
Does it matter at this point?
Even better. Okay, so you take to the right, noticing that the walls of this corridor are basically covered with like bloodied hand marks. Probably a lot of someone's ran through this place, all with bloodied parts. You believe these are the naked Tritons that rushed through this corridor. Eventually, you reach to a not a very large room, but it's like it's big enough to contain what you believe is a cage. It's basically a metallic cage, nothing fancy about it, not very crude. There's a big lock on the door that is currently open. And you can see 4 stands with memory jars placed on top of them at each corner of the cage. The cage is currently empty, and there is one bench to the right of the cage with what appears to be a big chest. And there's another opening that leads. So basically, you enter the room, you see the cage, and just behind it, there is another opening that leads deeper into the complex.
You said that there are memory jars over there?
Yes.
On the stand?
Yes,
Or them.
4 of them.
We should check those out.
I don't think we have the mechanism to see from them, right?
Correct.
Or is this the ones where we can touch them and see it?
No, I
See the
think
memories?
no. You do need this machinery to operate them, but you believe that
So
if they're here, if these are there, it means that they were recording recently. So
yeah.
Yeah,
So unless anybody's gonna take them, I'll take the 4.
sure.
I'm going over and looking at the large chest.
okay, so it's a big wooden chest, big enough to hold a lot of stuff. So and it's not there's no lock. The lid is closed currently, but no lock. Right.
As I see the chest, I get ready to firebolt anything alive that comes out of that chest. Hold my action.
Okay.
I'll push the chest open if I can, just using my quarterstaff to push the chest open.
Okay, so you kind of stick the staff and push it, and you can see that it's divided to something like 10 or 15 compartments. Each compartment holds personal belongings. Maybe it's a piece of uniform, maybe it's like a ring, maybe it's a medallion or clothes. You believe that these are the personal belongings of the naked
Tritons, yeah.
of the naked Tritons.
Yeah, I assume as much.
Yes,
So, yeah.
but some of the compartments are empty. So think about it this way: in each compartment, you can see clothes and personal belongings, like it may be like an item the Triton had on him when he was brought here. But some of the compartments have only clothes in them and no personal belongings at all. If you kind of yeah,
I was just gonna say to the rest of the group, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but scrying magic is improved if you've got a personal belonging.
correct. Elin,
Okay.
you spot in one of those empty compartments a set of uniform that kind of stand out, and you remember Zunis, may he rest in peace, talk about Triton military ranks. You believe that you are looking at the uniform of a general.
Weren't we looking for a general?
Yeah.
General Kamal,
Mm-hmm.
who captained the Notorious.
Yeah.
I say to you, this is the clothes of a general, of a Triton general.
Um,
We
The general
look
we
at
were
the-
looking for.
Yep.
Is there a name tag or any medals on them or anything
So you don't see, this is the strange bit, you don't see any like medallions or anything metallic or decorative, just the uniform with the ranks basically kind of sewn on them. You don't see any personal belongings, which is strange. Like to the left and to the right of these uniform, you can see like the uniform of sailors, so to speak, 5 of them, and then the rest are like regular Tritons, and but only the sailors and the general personal belongings are missing. So only their uniforms are here.
I wonder why they kept their uniforms.
Let's take the uniforms and have something to wear ourselves as disguises.
Oh, they left them for us.
Like, so we disguise ourselves as Tritons, wearing a uniform with a, human face.
Whatever.
Really?
If
I
these
have,
are the
I have a
uniforms,
disguise kit.
if we compare the body count in the last room to the number of compartments in here, what do we discover?
That there are basically 6 bodies missing.
Okay, so 5 soldiers or 5 sailors and a general.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we've got the memory crystals and got the uniforms. Where do we go?
I'm not taking anything.
Okay. Pushing forward.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. So, crossing the corridor that leads from this cage, you indeed come to a very big room. You descend a set of stairs that leads to like a hall, and there you can see this crystalline machine that has been toppled. So think of it as like in the movie Superman, when it has this crystalline formation where he puts the crystals and you can see his father, etc. So it's like a castle made of crystal, but it was toppled, and you can see down at the base of it like tubes and wiring, all sorts of interesting components basically connect to the ground there. So maybe an explosion, maybe something else has toppled this structure, and this crystalline castle basically dominates the room. To the side there is another crystalline device suited for placing memory jars inside, and to the opposite side there is a it's a Triton corpse hung on a hook, probably for the purposes of display. You can see copper wires wired into it and markings with ink where maybe a physician would cut.
Fast.
So it's simply kind of
Does,
Yeah.
does it
So-
look like
It's not
from
cool
his face,
anymore.
Does it look like it suffered?
you believe so, yes.
Probably.
Right.
The crystal castle machine. Does that
How
look
hard would it be
like
to
the one
push?
that was toppled? That I think at least we needed the floaty creatures.
Yes, it is very excited to see it. It kind of hovers around it, but obviously it's like a huge thing, pulling it up or even like putting it back in place. It's like, it's too big for you.
Come on, we all
so
need
we've
to
got-
work together and put us back together.
Yep, you guys do that. I'm gonna take one of my memory jars and I'm gonna go over to the machine that allows me to
Yes.
read it.
Okay. So you put one of the memory jars inside the machine, and what you see is this cage that is full of Tritons, and one of those hooded figures comes in and concentrates and then chooses one Triton, and then it explains in like telepathically, but obviously the memory jar contains this recording as well. It basically explains to it that you are the most intelligent of the bunch, so we are going to save you to last. Your brain will be the last pot we'll put in, and that's where the crystal kind of fades away.
All right, number 2.
So if you continue this with number 2 and 3 and 4, you learn that after those Illithids chose one Triton and told him that he will be the brain, they picked from this cage one Triton after another, and each time they took this one Triton and showed him what they are doing to those to his friends. They were basically harvesting them for pots, and they were constructing a new Triton out of those pots by stitching them together and like using the wires they have put inside of them to create this mega Triton, all deformed and monstrous. Yes.
Wait, how many were inside the cage originally?
So something like 10 Tritons.
Okay.
So
Um,
about the amount of bodies that are back in that other room.
Yes. And
So the ones that escaped.
Or
Sans
the- or-
Tritonstein.
yes.
Or this could be like how they created the huge creature that ripped the other tribes apart.
Maybe.
Yeah, Tritonstein is the one.
And you can see that
Tritonstein's monster.
you can see that
Fair.
they were very excited, the Illithids, as like each time they took one Triton, this last one, he started to go mad. He knew that he was the last one to be picked, so all he could see is his friends being taken away, and they continued to show him like this construction, this metallic bed on which this deformed Frankenstein creature was being constructed slowly, and the open skull in which they would have like put his brain into.
So I can see right away where they made one of the major errors in judgment. That's making the brain go mad before they inserted it into their monster. So now they have a very angry, very insane monster that's obviously strong. Okay, let's go find it.
And maybe that's the point if you are creating a monster, right?
I suppose if it's something to use in battle, absolutely.
Probably a weapon, but do we want to go to the Illithid or to the Tritonstein?
Wait, are there no exits from this campo?
Nope.
No?
Oh, so we've made it as far as we could on this island?
No,
No, there was
There
two
are-
other.
two other
Two other
openings that you
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
explored.
Okay, let's investigate first.
Yeah,
and
I
then
guess I got turned around, but like this machine thing, we need to like fix it.
Right.
Oh, that's a fair point. Varian, can you help me search the room?
Okay. Search the
Have
room.
advantage. Well, just like look for.
Okay, so I got
traps,
a
or not
6
traps,
in
but, like, secret
perception.
passages. I got a 20.
What are you searching the room for?
Trapdoors, secret passages.
Okay, got it.
Anything like that.
Okay. So in this specific room, in the crystal room, all you can see is the display and this machine that was used to view the recordings. No secret openings that you can see. And this is it. There are no more openings in this room. So
I like knock on some wall that's clearly not hollow, and I'm like, yeah, there might be some tunnel behind this wall, but other than that, I can't really find anything.
Okay.
Is it possible if we all work together to like lift up the crystal or? You said it was toppled, right?
yep. You might try work on this together.
I've been trying to get the others to like, come on, everybody lift with your bags, and I'm standing there alone, like, hey, oh, you're not lifting.
So if you want, you can invest the time and maybe think about some I don't know, maybe pulleys or maybe ropes. But it does look like a big rock to turn over. But you can definitely try.
Was there a control panel type thing attached to that?
Not that you can see. Maybe it was toppled on top of it.
So, come on, guys, let's all work together.
I'll help you push.
Yeah, we'll give
I'll
it
totally
a
help
solid
with
try,
that.
but if it takes more than like a couple minutes,
Yeah.
we gotta get
You
at it.
just
We gotta
spent
keep
20
on.
minutes like watching the like this horrific experiment going on. Like, yeah, well, maybe if we could, we're pressed for time, and like, oh, there's another show here on. Let's watch this.
I was binge watching these memories.
Yeah.
All right, let's give it a shot.
Okay.
I'll help.
Strength checks,
For
everyone.
the sake of science.
I'm pretty strong.
I'm pretty weak.
Oh no.
I need new dice.
Could I use gust of wind?
You fart on it.
Monster fart. Well,
Come on,
13.
Mr. Big Strong Wizard with a huge sword. You can do better than that.
I rolled a natural one.
Okay.
I got an 11.
1 and 11.
10.
Okay.
18.
Jeez, the big guy.
13.
Quarian got 8.
Man, this is my highest roll yet. Rolled
And,
a 7.
And the small scrawny farmer like is the one that's
Yeah.
like he's really like, yeah, I gotta help my new friend, really gotta help him, come on. I'm putting everything into, and they're like, yeah, okay, I'll try, lift, I'll push, oh, we're pulling, oh right, sorry.
No, I can't get a good grip, it's just really round, and where I was trying to lift with, it's just
Oh
no
yeah,
way.
it's a huge jacket like crystal. I can't get any grip anywhere on these
Can't get a
edges.
grip anywhere. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So
I asked Galen if he wants to check if his friend can help him.
Yeah, can it lift it with
he
its power?
he sends
Look
a
at it,
pod.
like small fluffy tentacles, squishy things.
Maybe it's got telekinetic powers.
Yeah.
Delicate.
Like-
Get it what?
He can lift it with its mind.
Well, yeah, I guess I can try asking it. So I go to touch it again.
Okay, you
And try
touch
to.
touch the
Yeah.
pod with an intelligence
Yeah.
check.
Give that guy guidance or something.
Yeah, give him guidance. Should have given us guidance. Goddamn.
Well, you can only do it to one person, but since it's concentration. But hey, yeah, with guidance that puts me up to 18.
Okay. So with an 18, you believe that yes, this creature has a power to lift stuff with his mind, but it amounts to another strength check added to our own rolls, which were very poor. So, but again, you might or you can basically take 10 or take 20 and simply do it until you move it. It will simply take a lot of time. That's all.
Yeah, come on, guys, let's do it. Now we got
Well,
this
do you want
thing
to spend
helping
a
us.
lot
It
of
has
time
some.
doing this?
Yeah, do we want to do it?
But
Really?
I think you
Come,
like
come
guided.
on, I can do this. I slipped.
I slipped. Can I? I'm just gonna try. It's a shot in the dark, but I'm gonna reach out telepathically to the crystal machine.
Okay.
If it's a creature, get with it if it knows the language.
Yeah, indeed, the long shot. When you reach out to it, you do feel psychic energy kind of flowing, but you don't think it's sentient in any way.
Okay. All right.
Put it
Let's
in
give
there.
it a shot.
Come on.
Okay, so you invest the time. That's fine. Okay, great. So after
Is it the party's decision? Are we?
I don't know. I was assuming it, but
Time here.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to lift it.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Okay. I see a lot of smiles and nods. Let's do it.
We're the
I got
blondes.
a 12 this time.
okay.
See, that's
So you kind of think about it a little and position yourself differently, and you use like your swords and staffs and whatnot, and this orb kind of helps you with its mind, and eventually you manage to lift up this huge construct and kind of knock it into place. After the dust settles and your sweat kind of you kind of wipe it off, you pant from this effort. You look at each other triumphantly, and then you can hear a voice coming from the cage room. It goes like this: I bet you they are here. I can hear them. They're panting and doing something. They're lifting something heavy. And then someone answers, okay, then let's go and kill him. Then another answer, no, they didn't do it on purpose. Come on, we are here to talk with them. Now draw your swords and get ready.
Are these familiar?
Here to talk.
This is mechanic. It's called hold in action.
I guess you guys probably would have seen whilst doing that me use my my cane. Would have used it to help here. Every time we lift it up a little bit, he'd hold it out, and it would hold the weight of the crystal, and then you guys would move a little bit, would reposition it. But he ain't holding it up.
Oh, you have a portable rod. Or what is it
it-
called?
Movable rod, yeah.
Does the
Alright.
panel do
Right
anything?
on.
Sorry.
Does the panel like click or start doing anything? Does it look like it's coming to life?
Yes, so you also believe that you have uncovered this control panel that Andrest was referring to, which basically is like a set of tubes that protrude from the crystalline device, and the tubes are kind of very, very slim. It's a strange control panel, but it is what it is.
The door. Is there a door into this room that those?
You
three
simply
people
descended a staircase.
Shoot. Okay.
Alright.
The bottom of the staircase. Ankle height. I'm gonna push the little button so it floats there, and then I'm gonna so they might trip on it when they come out.
Sorry, you were kind of broken up a little bit.
Sorry, I'm gonna put my immovable rod, my
Okay,
cane,
yeah.
at the bottom of the staircase at about ankle height.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna give you guidance, Anders.
I'm going to try to understand what this panel does. And can I do like an investigation check? or
Yes,
something like
yes. You can.
that? I don't think I understand what it does.
Okay.
I'll, yeah,
I'm
I'll,
gonna try to hide in the shadowy part of the room.
Okay.
I'll
I'm
say
getting
to,
ready to cast the
yeah,
spell.
I'll say to the floaty blob thing that yeah, see, I told you we could help, and then I'll go over to the hallway where Anders is laying his little trap over the stair, and like, can those voices, is it like anything we heard before, or like can we tell like what kind of thing it's coming from? Is it like giant voices, dwarf voices, or what?
So you're asking me or Enderist?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat the question because I'm not sure I understood.
Like the voices you said, like let's go kill them.
Oh, the
They're
voices.
talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about them?
Like, can we tell if there's like anybody we heard before? Like what?
Oh, yeah, yeah. You believe
people
that
they're
you believe that you have heard those voices. These belongs to the dwarfs that attacked the tower.
I kind of thought as much.
Are,
He said talk. He said talk.
I wasn't actually here for that.
No.
He's-
You know, remember the Bionicles in the early 2000s? The ones that turned
Yes.
into balls? Those.
Yes.
But worse.
But enemies or not?
Enemies at the
Enemies.
time, but
Yeah.
confused. They were like on a mission. They seemed like good guys, but I mean,
Sure.
they crossed
They
a bunch of
they
adventures.
destroyed the control crystal.
I think we were bystanders to their objective.
Yeah.
They only fought us in a means to get to what they were going for,
Okay,
Well,
then
they
and
did.
then retreated out.
They didn't fight us. They just came to destroy the crystals. I didn't see all you guys fighting since I was upstairs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are we preparing to defend ourselves then, or?
Defend but not attack.
I'm standing like in the front of the room, so they see me as soon
Okay.
as they come in, getting like
Oh,
right
really?
there to talk.
I can.
I think we're
I
fighting
can
them.
Talk.
darkness, and I can communicate with them because I can see through the darkness, and I can communicate with them.
You hear a voice. Griswelda, where is that gaseous form potion? I want to drink it now. And
Idiots.
Griswelda obviously answers, "You old fart! You don't need a gaseous form potion. You're full of gas as it is. Simply step into the room and hit on the head whatever lies in front of you." And then someone says, "But we said that we need to talk with them." No, not talk. Smack. I'm sure she said smack.
Okay, I'm gonna cast darkness down the hallway. I'm gonna spend 2 sorcery points, which allows me to see through the darkness.
Okay.
And I'm preparing to cast spell.
So you cast darkness at the corridor?
Yeah, down the corridor, so that as little of the darkness comes into this room as possible.
Okay, but as much of it
15-foot radius. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
then I'll peek around the corner so I can see, and I'll tell you guys what I see.
you hear one of them as you cast the spell. You hear one of them says, "Oh great, we've turned invisible. They can't see us now."
These guys are morons. All right.
Yes.
Do I see them?
So
Yes.
So these guys are in the darkness right now. Okay,
Yes.
I am. Okay, this is gonna be fun. I will cast summon lesser demons right on top of them.
I'm gonna communicate telepathically with one of them.
Okay.
And I'm standing in the middle of the room waiting to talk with them. Like, can just come in. I'm ready to talk.
So let's roll initiative.
Oh my god.
Does my spell get off before?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, of course.
What did I miss?
It's oh my god.
Nothing.
Oh, what was the last
Just
thing you
summoning some
remember?
demons, not demon problem.
I remember the first Stooges coming down the stairs.
Yeah. When I
and
cast darkness.
demons,
Dark-
and yeah.
Yeah. I cast darkness down the hallway, but I use sorcery points so that I can see through the darkness, and I'm telling you guys what I see.
Okay.
And then Varian summoning a demon in the hallway.
So if I roll a d6, and if it's a 1 to 2, it's 2 demons of challenge rating 1. 3 to 4 is 4 demons, challenge rating a half, and 5 to 6 is 8 demons of challenge rating quarter.
Okay, so initiatives.
Is 2 demons of
8.
challenge rating 1.
Okay.
Ooh.
And they are hostile to everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Wait,
Amazing.
even us?
Yes.
Yes,
I
you
mean,
need to hear me
it's
like,
bonus
okay, the
XP,
dwarves are
right?
coming down the hallway. Oh shit, 2 demons appeared.
Okay, so I've got the demons initiative.
Yeah, 23 for Galen.
Wow.
20 for
I got a-
Quarian.
I got a 5.
21
I did
for
better
me.
than you. I got an 8.
Nice. Woo!
The
shocked
demons are
by the
hostile to
appearance.
all creatures, including you. Roll initiative for the summoned demons as a group, which has its own turn.
I'm missing
The demons pursue and attack the nearest non-demons to the best of
Varian.
their ability.
Varian's initiative roll.
20.
Oh, nice. Okay, so Galen, you go first. Wait, the demons kind of pop into
Oh, yeah.
existence. Can they see through darkness?
In magical darkness.
It depends what kind. It's random demons. You can just pick random ones with
Okay.
a challenge
DM
rating of
decides,
1.
right?
From the, yeah, it says the DM chooses the demons.
Okay. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
but challenge rating of 1, I don't think there are many with challenge rating of 1.
in this
Is
case,
there a chart at the end of that?
But it says specifically demons from the abyss.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so challenge rating 1.
Challenge rating 1.
So let's
Yeah.
make them 2 imps. They have devil's sight, so magical darkness doesn't impede the imp's dark vision. Yeah. So they will pop into existence, and like with this sound, and and
Naturally.
yeah, and one of the dwarves will say, "I've heard something," and the other one answers, "Don't worry, we're invisible." And then you can see the two imps kind of extract long stings and simply stab the dwarves in the neck. And there's a real ruckus there. So one of the stings kind of glances off one of the dwarves' armor, the other one penetrates, and oh, nice. There's also poison there. So it's 5 points of damage plus a DC 11 Constitution saving throw, which obviously the dwarf has failed, and now 3d6 poison damage.
Got the advantage on this, doesn't it?
I'm not sure.
Poison?
Yeah,
And resistance to
Yeah,
poison.
resistance to
Oh,
poison damage,
resistance.
yeah.
It's just half damage. So that's another 5 points of damage. Okay. So one dwarf is really angry. And we have 5 of those. Okay, great.
5 angry dwarves, not 7.
No, it's a 5.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay, let's go head over to Galen's turn.
Yes. I'll simply be standing in the middle room, like ready to dodge anything that comes at me, and then saying like, come on down here. We're willing to talk. You know, you remember me from the tower, right? I was there. You saved me from the huge explosion at the crystal.
So one of the dwarf that wasn't hurt by the imp kind of looks towards you. He doesn't see anything, and you can see you can't see anything, but all you can see is his voice. Wait, you can't see me, do you?
No,
Oh, then everything is okay.
I can hear you.
He okay. So he turns and starts to. You think all you can hear is metallic steps on like stone. Ching ching ching. He's probably headed your way. Anything else you want to do?
No, that's it.
Okay, Quarian.
I don't see any one of them, right?
Right. It's like a blob of darkness.
Okay. So, don't really have anything that I can do at the moment.
Okay.
Okay.
Eileen.
I'm going to cast a minor. No, I'm going to ready action for somebody to get out of there.
Okay. Eileen.
Yeah, I'm gonna ready an action to cast chromatic orb if I see something that isn't a dwarf come out of that bubble of darkness.
Okay. Varian.
I think I'm just gonna burning hands into the darkness.
Okay. So you unleash your flames, and you can hear one of the voices saying, "Oh, not again!" As the flames kind of scorch everything inside.
Oh, nice. It's a dexterity saving throw of 15. So
Yeah, not for the dwarves, not for this one. Okay, let's. Okay. 15, you say?
yep, 15.
Okay, so the dwarves, only 2 made it. I'll roll for the imps in a minute. But they have yeah, they have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical. So they both make it, even using their first rolls.
The ones that did make it take 4 damage, and the ones that didn't make it take 7.
Okay. Great. So the dwarves, realizing that something is very wrong, they will basically go into formation with one of them following Galen's voice. They will step out from the darkness. You can see that they are holding hands, basically. Each one of them is holding the shoulder of the one in front of it. But as they come out of the darkness, you can see that they are still closing their eyes.
Don't forget about my trip.
Yeah, so as they simply go down the staircase with their eyes closed like this, one of them, the first, trips on the rod, and they all kind of tumble down and land with a hip, smacking their heads on the crystal machines, like totally disoriented. Anderist and Elin, you two immediately spot their the emblems on their armor. They are agents of Mithril Hall, the kingdom of the dwarves lying to the north of Waterdeep.
Instead of launching a bolt of lightning at them, I say, wait, stop attacking. I say it loudly to everybody. Mithril Hall, I mean, this is a good, like, dwarf, right?
Yes.
Yes, Clan Battlehammer.
So
Yeah, I just immediately, like, yell everybody to stop fighting each other. I get into the middle and, like, about to get ready to cast Thunder Wave if people don't stop.
okay.
I said it was all a misunderstanding and we should just talk.
Forgar, what do you do?
So we're trying not to fight them now.
That's what you hear Eileen say.
You
anyways.
yell that everything's fine. Did the dwarves look like they're responding to that?
So they basically shouting, "Who's fighting?" While still eyes
No
closed,
one's
they
fighting?
they are scorched, and one of them has like this imp sting protruding from its neck.
Where's the imps? Wait a minute.
They
Where's
are,
the?
they are dancing within the bubble of darkness and there is
I
someone.
think they have invisibility too, so.
Yeah, invisibility for sure.
Are they invisible? Can I see them in the darkness?
So they turn invisible until they attack. So they basically attacked.
So I can see them.
Yeah,
Well, if they're in the darkness bubble, nobody can see it.
I can.
Can I?
he can.
Oh, you can see through them. Oh,
I can see through my darkness if I use sorcery points.
cool.
Can I cast Ensnaring Strike?
On who?
See if I can tie them all down there.
If look
Have
at
to
the
hit
spell
them.
description. If it says creature you can see, then no.
Oh no, it's a next time you hit a creature with a weapon attack,
Okay.
target must succeed. Oh, it's just one person. I wanted to like
Right, got it.
get all
You
of
need
them.
entangle,
Entangle.
that's what you're thinking.
Yeah,
Oh.
Entangle is pretty great.
Okay, so anything you want to do, or do you simply pass the turn?
I think I'll pass the turn.
Okay, and the rest?
I'm gonna magic missile one of the imps.
Okay, do it.
So 5 points of damage.
So I guess half that, right? Oh no, sorry. Disadvantage on saving. No saving. Wait.
Still up.
Damage, immunities, damage, resistance. All good.
It's force damage. I don't think it has.
Yeah,
any
yeah, yeah.
weapon.
So how many points of damage did you do?
5 from the first missile.
So 5. So yeah, you managed to kill one of them, like with.
Okay, so the other 2 missiles at the other one then.
Okay.
8.
So with an 8, you managed to kill the second one as well.
Nice.
Yes. And at this point, the dwarves open their eyes and they kind of look at you and say, "Oh, you!"
Yes. Hello again.
Hi.
We
I
saved
waved
you
at
from
them.
those demons.
So they get up, kind of clean their clothes, and you can see that one of them is like particularly scorched, but some of the scorch are like old burns, like from your battle at the tower. He's obviously very grim. He looks at you like disapprovingly, while one of the dwarves, a female, she like turns to you and reaches out like a square hand and says, "Greetings. My name is Griswolda."
I shake her hand.
Yeah, I'm helping them up.
Yeah, gonna help them too.
I ask.
I'll recover my cane.
Griselda, how are your men?
She looks at them, and you can see that one of the scorched dwarf, he kind of lowers his head and they burned me, and now I can't hit them back. And she says, "Other than hurt pride, we are fine. How are you doing?"
Well, we're hanging on. This place, it's a horrible, abominable mess.
I agree. The architecture is simply horrifying. No dwarf would have ever built such a poorly constructed complex.
Oh, I was talking about the body horror and gore.
Oh. This is all she says.
Oh, that.
Yeah. I really hope you aren't here to blow up this crystal thingy. I say as I point back at the crystal thing. Like we need that.
She says, "No, actually, the dragon who brought us to the giant's tower thought that maybe we have made a mistake in our dealings with you. You see,
Yes.
we were very focused on disabling the navigation orb, and maybe later, after doing a take-in regarding our operation, which was successful, I might add, we realized that maybe some communication attempts were made that were ignored by us. And so here we are. What did you want to talk about?"
You just showed up here to chat?
Don't destroy the navigation orb. I say, like, looking. Yes, that was what I was trying to say.
Can you help the nice giant over there reconstruct his navigation orb?
"Oh, by Moradin's hammer, never. The giants are loose in the Sword Coast. We don't want them traveling in the sky any more than you do. It is a
You
good...
guys,
Well, in
What do
that
you
case, there's there's like a boat full of giants that is on its way.
yeah, did you see them when you were flying over here?
Yeah.
So actually, yes, we have seen. It's a big ship, but it's very slow. So it gives us some time to talk to you. We thought...
So, yeah, also they have a dragon inside their hull.
Oh, another dragon. Clarion would be pleased. Is it silver?
No, it's
no,
a
it's
nasty
white.
white dragon.
Oh, a white dragon.
And it's very angry.
We
If,
pissed it
if
off,
it's
broke
still
it.
inside the ship, it might have broken
Yeah,
up.
if,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still there, but
So-
if it is, then it's being held captive.
Maybe, now that we have talked, maybe we can, as Clarion suggested, cooperate. You see, we have to get into this giant ship. We believe one of the frost giants can help us understand what's going on with all the giants uprising. You've heard of the giant uprising, right? Fire giants, hill giants, frost giants, everybody on the loose. We want to understand why. It is very important. It is a task given to us by our queen.
Queen?
Yes, we have a queen in Mithral Hall.
Oh,
Well,
interesting.
this should be here in a couple hours, no?
Who, the queen?
No, the giant.
Shit.
On
Yes.
the slow boat.
Question.
So we thought you will wait the boat, you will charge in, make a lot of noise, the giants will come at you, and we will get into the boat, and we will seek one specific frost giant, one that is named Harshnag.
What are you gonna do with him? Kill him?
No, no, God forbid, no. Harshnag was once an adventurer. He was a member of an elite force called Force Grey. They served Waterdeep for years. Maybe he will know what's going on in the South Coast and why the giants are behaving or misbehaving, should we say.
Okay. Well, during the next couple hours before they get here, I mean, whether we do this or not, we should take into account this horrible facility, which is holding in a monster abomination. I should let you know. And an illithid. Nasty,
Yeah.
nasty illithid. In its depths.
More than that, right?
Yeah, and possibly a monster of some sort of scientific creation.
Experiments, yes.
Yeah.
Aberration of sorts.
We should basically get out and close that latch that you guys came in from. Make sure it's locked.
You want to close a latch and keep a monster with us?
No, well, after we leave, put a giant rock on top of it or something.
That can be arranged.
But that's just
have a
my
dragon.
opinion. Our group should speak and figure out what we're
We should find out how to work this machine so we can help our friend here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I say,
hmm
Varian, what if we, and Ellen, what if the three of us put our brains together? Think we could figure this out?
Do the dwarves have any idea?
About what?
Really? You're asking the dwarves?
Well, they seem
guys?
to know about the navigational crystal, which we didn't, and that was also, you know, weird
But
tech.
I think their orders were like, see that like thingy, like smash it really hard.
Or maybe the order was help that nice giant and, you know, protect the orb crystal, and they got confused in the way there.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I'd ask them if any of them knew how to operate that giant crystal thing.
They kind of blink.
Yeah, okay.
Deer in the headlights.
Yeah, okay.
I try, but I have 10 intelligence, so I'm not smart either.
All right, you're.
Griswolda kind of turns to one of the dwarfs and she says, Heaven, did you mark the check mark next to speak with them? And he kind of...
Jeez. Pulls out a clipboard.
Adventure clipboard.
Oh, it's awesome.
And
All right, I'm gonna go look at the control.
The board is called quest log.
Yeah.
Yeah. Checks the quest progress.
So, so what do you say?
I'll help you look.
You mentioned that there were like tubes coming out of it, or is it like? Is it something that that is of the same size as the holes that the tritons that we saw before had in their heads? Really?
Okay. Is anything here broken that could be fixed with mending? I don't have mending, but
Probably
someone does.
probably the connectors that goes into the floor. Mending could help fix those.
Does somebody have mending?
I
What?
don't have mending.
Oh my god.
Does that help?
There are like 4 primary spellcasters and nobody has mending. It's
I'm
amazing.
just a blaster. I'm just a blasty blaster.
They have like booming blade and green flame blade and fireballs and burning
Kill
hand
lots of things.
and catapult and shadow blade and fireball.
And then one of the dwarfs says, "You've read the manual of our newest armor plating." all those fancy things and more.
All right. Well, yeah.
So,
Is there a place to put like a helmet on or something like that?
you want a helmet?
No, not you, idiot. I mean, Mr. Dwarf. Control panel. Is there?
Make
somewhere to
a
sit or-
make an intelligence check.
19.
So with the 19, you believe that the tubes are places that you can basically put your tentacles in, and this is how you
I'll
control
put my
it.
tentacle in any tube here.
It works if you go like this.
Yeah, just hold your hands there and yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it functions.
So
So,
what happened to our blob buddy? Is he still floating there?
Yeah.
just
Yes.
awkwardly?
Yep.
Yeah, where's Blub Blub?
Yeah, he's still
Blub
there.
blub.
He's kind of floating like the ghost from Ghostbuster, kind of floats around the crystal
Slimer.
tower. Yeah, exactly.
Does Blub Blub know how to use this? Can he put like his pseudopods down there?
So someone needs to explain him.
Galen, this is your friend.
Yes, yes, yes.
Give him guidance.
Yep.
Blob Buddy. He
I
speaks in
will-
dubstep.
I will speak with Rob Rob.
Did you say he speaks in dubstep?
Exactly.
That's amazing. Super amazing.
Okay, an intelligence check is due.
Yeah. 17 and yes, you said guidance also. Not that I really need it, but so 18.
So with an 18, you manage to explain what you want him to do. He kind of floats down and extends his tentacles and puts them in, and then the crystal like castle kind of glows brighter and brighter and brighter. The dwarfs kind of like one man, they put their hand on their helms, which kind of reduce this stained glass visor, and the light becomes so bright, and then you can all feel this wave of energy exploding around you, and when this happens, you almost feel like if this whole complex has become transparent, and you can see two things. So beneath you, you can see like a network of tunnels that eventually lead to the surface of the water, and you can see this mechanical submarine. A tentacled hand closes a hatch, and then the whole submarine kind of goes down and starts to move, and inside this flooded tunnel, headed obviously out. And you can see that from the huge frost giant ship, a smaller vessel has detached and reached the first island. You can see all this because everything around you is transparent. You can see an elf missing a hand, helping a dragonborn come out of the boat, and they both land on the island. And they look at each other and slowly make way toward the first hatch, and then everything goes back to normal, and the blob is gone.
An elf and a
Blub.
dragonborn?
Are they familiar at all? Have we seen them before?
No.
Okay. Interesting.
Well,
Well,
it's you Blob
we don't have
Blob.
to fight giants. I'll miss you. Blub Blub.
Can we keep
Alright.
Miss you.
Can we get... No, not anymore. He's gone. He ran away. Alright, so when we were looking down, did we see anything interesting in all those tunnels and rooms beneath us?
any loot?
A lot of interesting things. You believe that just by looking at things, probably a secret door leads downstairs to this complex, and this is obviously where the operators of this complex resided. You're not sure if there are any other left, but there's obviously like a complex to explore there.
So the only way out, if we got trapped in here, if they, for example, giants were above us, the only way out is through a flooded tunnel.
Probably yes.
It's probably pretty deep beneath the surface of the water.
Yes. So it's not exactly like, yeah, it's, think about it like how Batman will use his submarine to, like, he has the Batcave, he comes into the submarine, it goes down, and then it moves through a flooded tunnel. So yes, now there's no submarine.
Yeah, that might
Probably
be
couldn't
difficult.
have reached that hill if it's
Not in time, no. I'm just
there any
thinking,
other
like,
ways
if we
now?
go deeper, we run the risk of being trapped in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think priority number 1 is giants, and then the abomination, and then like investigating this entire.
How do we
Do you
get rid
think
of
we
the
could?
giants?
Do you think the abomination would help us?
I don't know.
We seem to have someone who has a habit of making friends. And I look at Galen.
Yes, and I look over at Anarist.
Maybe I just
What?
look up.
You have that invisible creature thing that attacked me, helping you.
Yeah.
But we
Okay.
can't give him a command.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can't order it. It's just here to protect me, and it's not my friend, really. Sorry, Dale. Not
So
friends.
the dwarves kind of lift their visors, and then Griswolda says this time to Voldrick, what does the manual says now? And then Voldrick says, try to recruit them, offer gold, 100 gold pieces from Mithril Hall. And then she turns to you, our queen is willing to give each of you, and then she stops, each of them. And then he says, each of you 100 gold pieces minted in Mithril Hall if you help us create a diversion that will allow us to board the frost giant ship.
Sorry, but 100 rupees seems a bit low.
She turns to Voldrick, and he kind of flips the manual and like,
I don't know.
I don't know what it
I don't think they have the necessary competence to change the offer.
I'm talking to the right people.
I can try.
But isn't that like a bit greedy? That's already like 600 gold. That sounds like a lot to me.
Yeah, giants,
yeah.
man.
She kind of stutters and says, but you will
Give
be
Galen a very sharp look right now.
you will be helping the she says you will be helping the Lord's Alliance, maybe an audience with the Queen. If we pull this off, Harshnag is maybe our last hope to figure out what's going on.
Is Harsnog an ally of the, what are we calling them now? These giants?
No, is probably a prisoner.
Okay.
I just, what kind of diversion we can do that won't get us killed?
How do you
We can try
know
the same thing that we did last time.
he's there?
The dragon. And we also have another dragon, right? That's helping us? The
Yeah,
third
I
dwarf?
think we were lucky there when I cause fear on that dragon.
You
Yeah.
managed to cause fear for a dragon. This is
I'm a
indeed.
pretty scary guy.
So here you go. Do it again. Scare the dragon, and then we can get in.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I have another spell that could complete you. I have a spell that might make it like attack anything around it. If
Yeah,
you
me
can cast
too.
it on somebody on the ship, and
Me
have
too.
has the staff start attacking everybody around on the ship,
Yeah,
it'd be a pretty good diversion.
we do that from Griffin back. What's the range on that spell?
120 feet,
What? Okay, well that's all right.
Wow.
not too bad.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do think there are more than 100 gold.
We'll speak to the queen about it. I'll pull some strings.
If we pull out Harshnag from the clutches of the frost giant and learn what happens What is the reason behind the giant uprising? I can assure you the queen will be grateful. And after all, she is part of the Lord's Alliance. A lot of gold flows through Mitral's Hall. I'm sure.
So
Yes.
we could try and take the dwarf or the elf and the dragonborn.
What elf and
Hostages.
dragonborn?
Did we see them disembarking from a boat?
The dwarves
They
kind of look
probably
at
didn't
each other.
The dwarves didn't see it.
Enough of other hand. And a dragonborn.
Yeah, they're. I'm guessing allied with the giants.
Yeah.
They might know of the ship, and if your giants being.
Let's go make
hostages.
some new friends.
Yeah, why don't we wait for them to come here?
And she
boring.
says, Griswolda says, a elf and a dragonborn. Was the elf missing a hand by any chance?
Yes.
Yeah.
She spits. Zentarim.
Perfect.
Oh no
Ah.
shit.
Our
Yeah.
favorite.
Take them out.
Who this?
Yeah. So I say we set up an ambush at the when they come down into this chamber down the ladder. We might even have enough time to have a short rest.
Well,
Sounds good.
striking down Zentarim is always a good plan. I agree. And taking them
Yeah.
hostage.
I'm sorry.
No, continue.
Gary, I asked them if there is any chance that they could heal us.
We do have potions of gaseous form.
I take one of those.
Ditto.
We do.
If they're
Me too.
handing them out.
And she says that, but she doesn't hand them out.
We
We
I will
got
a-
them, but
I will ask her if she's confident in her men's ability to take out those two Zentarum without us.
Well, we are much better in stealth works. We are practically unseen when we choose to.
Right.
Our speciality is sneaking into highly guarded places without being seen.
Like
You were
crashing
super
through
successful.
windows.
That's
How you consider stealth?
that's one tactic. But we can employ several others.
I turn to the dwarf who's barely much scorched, and I say, "I'll trade you a healing potion for one of those gaseous form."
And he says, this will get me in trouble if Clarion will throw me again and I'll miss.
Okay.
But you can just recover, right? It's a healing.
And he kind of thinks about it. Make a persuasion check.
I slipped into Getty again. Deception. Oh, I have a lot of charisma. I forgot. Wow, a crit.
Oh, damn.
23.
He says, well, I guess you're right. And he gives you the gases.
I gave him that regular ass healing potion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll save him when he like misses, a window and smashes into the ground or somewhere.
Okay, you've got a gaseous form potion with a label written on top of it, which is Hewen. This is probably the name of the dwarf.
Alright.
So we know that this crystal mechanism is a scrying item, but we can't use it. We know that there's a secret passage that goes down that we haven't found yet.
A secret passage, we can find it for you, obviously.
Yeah. So while we're setting up an ambush, why don't you guys go find that, and
don't-
then
if
we
you
know
find
how.
a- If you see
Right.
a giant beast, let us know so we can fight it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make friends with it. Don't kill it. And
We
then
will.
maybe we've got a way to escape should we need it.
Okay, yes, we can sneakily stealth our way and find the secret passage, no problem. And she turns to Voldrick and says, you wrote all this down, Lake? And he says, yes. and they go.
I think I'm missing something. Secret passage downstairs
Yes.
Yeah.
to
further
go down.
Yeah.
But that doesn't help us much right now.
Only if
Not
we
right
need
now,
to
but
escape.
later.
But then we need to go through like water and drown.
I was just thinking if these two Zentarum turn out to be more than we reckon, we need a place to fall back to.
All right.
Just
We can
giving us
cross
options.
that.
Just options, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
you
we-
take a short rest. Make camp.
If we
Yeah.
can, if we have time, and while we're like taking a short rest, let's talk about like setting a trap like right below the stairs, like dressing in the Triton's uniform, cover
Yeah, we-
ourselves
Finding
in
the
UV
nose
body
works
part,
out.
and get ready to spring out. And
Actually,
kill them.
do you think maybe we can try to lead them to this Frankenstein monster? Like lead
We
them
don't know
to
where it is.
And we should take them alive so we can question them.
Yeah.
Frankenstein?
Or ask them. No, they're the two Centaurium. They're
Oh.
one-handed elf and the dragon form.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
so
it would be easier to take them alive after they beat them.
Are you
You
sure
might
they'll be
tear
here?
them in half, though. We can't control it.
Yes, and they might also lead that horrible creature next to us. But yeah, short rest if we have time, and should use some hit dice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it does.
Oh yeah, a 1 on the first attempt. That's
Take an extra 1d6, by the way.
oh right.
Oh, thank you. Full.
okay, so
Oh, I'm full also.
you after you basically set camp and discuss your options, Valdrick returns, and he is still holding that wooden plate with the paper on top of it, and he looks at you and then check marks something and heads back, and then he turns around and heads back to you and says, we found a secret passage downstairs and the monster.
And
Griswolda is trying to make friends with it now.
awesome. Perhaps we should go.
Yeah, how
We
much
should go
time do
help
we
her.
have? How much time do we have until the ship, dies?
So you already saw the elf and the dragonborn on the first island.
Yeah.
So they're there. The frost giant ship is probably gonna patrol the waters around the island. It can't anchor. Like
We still have
How
a couple
far?
hours then.
How far to the monster?
he says, I'm not sure. I was lost in thought, but I think it's like go
Minutes?
yeah,
Hours?
Yes, no, minutes probably.
So I will climb up to the hatch and I'll put my cane. I assume there's like a wheel or something.
Yep.
I'll put the cane in it. I'll click the button. Let's go. They
Okay.
can't get in now.
Great. So, you are led by Voldrick, who takes you through a network of turns this way and that way, going through chambers, some of them with equipment, some of them with Triton bodies, eventually leading you to a big, like, operation room chamber. You can see a metallic bed that is tilted in this angle, and on top of it, this indeed Frankenstein-like stitched Triton corpse. It is frozen in a poster, something like this, and you can see that it kind of tries to reach to somewhere. That somewhere is another table in front of it, on top of which lies a female Triton corpse. She is open from the chest down, and parts are missing. Maybe several ribs were removed, and you can see that the stitched Triton has like newly installed ribs that were sewn into its body. Next to it, you can see those 4 dwarfs. They are examining a mechanism that is attached just below this bed. and they are kind of scratching their heads and saying, pull that lever, no, connect that wire, no, I think this is the way to go. And then Griswolda says, oh, I found the button, and then she clicks it.
Oh god. I'm gonna make very sure that I'm not looking like a mind flare right now.
Okay.
Back to my old self.
And you can hear this click as she presses the button, and then they all kind of stand up, hands on the hips, as they watch this creature starts to shout and shriek. And I think this is a good point to cut the scene and continue next time.
It's alive! It's
It's Adam
alive!
from the left
It's
hand.
alive!
And yes, and the dwarves are very pleased, you can see.
Did we get a chance to maybe, like, as the dwarf was eating here, was here telling us where this secret door was they found?
No.
No.
So we can, you know, run there. It's for no particular reason, you know,
Yeah.
just
Insurance.
casuals, like small talk.
So yeah, probably he did say something about that he found it, but not exactly where. But we'll see next time where it. How will you extract this information from them?
Oh, by the way, back then when everything became like transparent,
Mhm.
did we see the third island that we didn't go to yet?
Yes.
Is there anything that in particular that we saw there?
So it's not very. It wasn't very clear what you saw, but what you think you saw is a complex designed like a. How should I say it? Like a very, very sophisticated prison.
Mm.
And the name of that island
Shock.
should be
Shock.
Pemfredo. Shock.
All right,
Yeah.
guys, I won't be in the next session, probably, unless I have Wi-Fi on the plane.
Oh.
Where are you going?
I'm going to be in Vienna, and I'll be on the way back during that next session.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You should cancel that.
Yeah, whole thing.
I told him. I told him
I
nothing.
know.
Yeah, that sounds, you know, boring. Like, you'll miss out on all this.
Yeah. And for what?
Okay, guys. So yeah, thank you all, and I'll see you next week.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you for running this. I'm really enjoying these islands here.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Yalla.
Bye. Oh wait, Brian, stick around. I want to ask you about the shirts.
Ooh, that sounds
so-
interesting. Yeah. So, but I will go and have
I-
fun.
I'll
Have a
do
good
your-
night. Have a great week, and see you in 2 weeks time. Bye bye.
So do you still have like?
See ya.
Have a good night.
Bye guys.